Today we have a 1966 Oldsmobile 442 that we're restoring that we'd like to show you what it's all about. Here we have an Oldsmobile 1966 442 coupe. This was a original owner car that Chris had since he was young, and brought it to us about a year ago.
Yeah, maybe a year, a few months. It was a basket case.
Yeah, he had started it and took it all apart and kind of got overwhelmed and really couldn't finish it. And then he gave us a call, I guess about a year ago, and we talked about it. He actually has two of them. We have, I think it's a 67 in the
convertible.
Yeah, a convertible that's going to be his wife's car. This one will be his.
One of the things about getting a car that has already been disassembled is during the reassembly process, you find out that you're missing certain things, and not everything for this car is being reproduced. So you have to do a lot of hunting or fabricating. It has a 2-speed jetaway transmission that wasn't used for a very long time, and they went to the turbo 350, 400, and the dipstick tube and dipstick were missing from the transmission. We actually had to fabricate it because I was unable to find one used. It's the original 400 motor that this car was born with. We had the tri-power setup that brings it right back to the factory spec. We added the power disc brakes just for drivability on today's roads. It had manual drums, not too much fun. Not when you can convert it to something like this and just be a lot more enjoyable driving.
Sometimes when it comes to conversions on these old cars, I always tell people to ask me if it'll affect the value, that you're changing it. And I always ask them, it's personal, how much are you going to be driving it? Because if it's just going to be, if they're not really going to drive it much, then, and they're a stickler for it to be authentic original, then we would just stick with the old drum brakes and call it done. What we do on this particular case with Chisholm, we told the individual we just saved all the old components. So if he ever went to sell this and somebody was, oh my God, you altered the vehicle, you put disc brakes on it, say here, you got the old ones, you can convert it back. So a lot of that decision in modifications in these restoration process, a lot of it's personal, and also the drivability that somebody's going to have. I mean, some people get upset if you put seatbelts that there weren't seatbelts, but again, it's a personal to each person. When this came in, which I think we have various pictures, when we get a car in, each of our restorers has their own digital camera, and we take all kinds of pictures, every aspect that there is, and even with doing that, you'll never have enough pictures. But if I remember correctly, this where they typically go, because we have a GTO that we're doing now, this downstairs, that if I'm not mistaken, I think this was all rotted out here. I think we had to do inner and outer wheel wells, quarters. We also add a bunch of sound insulation, which they didn't have, but it makes a world of difference in quietness of the car. But the bodywork is very extensive, very time consuming. You're making love to every inch of the car to get rid of every pit, every imperfection. And in reality, they're much better than they were. Never that fussy. They were rolling these things off the line. What were these things selling for? $2,500, $3,000 in its day? Now people want them. They're way over restored. Everything's very, very fussy. Everything's, people will come in, oh my God, did you see that? So there's a huge amount of hours involved in the bodywork in order to get these cars the way people want them, which is over restored, which is fine, but it's very time consuming.
Another part about the 66 Cutlasses and the 442s, the dash cluster is not being reproduced. This one was in pretty poor condition. The plastic was cracked in many spots. Deterioration was pretty bad. So this is out being restored, and it actually takes about 6 months to get this piece back. The dash pad is available, but not the cluster the plastics, anything like that.
There are a lot of aspects of the restoration that are very slow, time-consuming, arduous. One of them is parts research, getting parts, whether there's certain numbers on alternators and generators, whether they're the original ones. When I started, there was almost nothing available, and what was available was absolute crap. It wouldn't fit, wasn't even close, so you really didn't have that option. And it's really nice today on a lot of these cars to have that option and be able to find new parts that are basically OEM, they meet the original equipment standards, and that's a big help. That's it for today at Vintage to Muscle. Join us next time when we hope, if everything goes well, we will be starting this engine up and hearing this come to life, and hope you join us. Thank you.